What's going on, guys? Just about 609 HD here, bringing you guys a very classic WWE Sports Talk video. So mainly what classic means to me is that I'll be doing my classic way of putting some photos up of the wrestlers that I'm going to be talking about, and if I can find some clips of the matches, maybe I can put a few snips of photos from the matches as well. But let's get to it and actually start talking about Extreme Rules 2013, which happened yesterday around 7 p.m. Central Time. And my best match that I was really intrigued on was probably the John Cena versus Ryback match, where basically Ryback picked up John Cena and slammed him straight through the LED stage showcase kind of entrance thing. And it was kind of interesting. I think that was kind of scripted if you kind of thought of it after a couple hours or either a couple minutes, thinking the way that they showed John Cena basically on top of a rod, kind of like beam kind of structure thing. It looked like it had rollies on it as well, so it's probably a cart where you put chairs on or something. Somehow he landed on that, and it only has 3 rods that he was basically balancing off of, and I think that was kind of fake right there. I think he was placed there. He placed himself there, and with Ryback just being on the ground walking away earlier than John Cena, and then after John Cena was being hauled away to the ambulance and stuff, he's like, I'm not going. So I was like, right when I saw that, I was like, it's scripted. But let's not mainly talk about that the whole entire time at the beginning, but let's get to it and actually talk about the pre-time show with The Miz and Cody Rhodes. I really think that this was not that great of a pre-time show match. Like, YouTube, they were supposed to host it on there. They had problems for most of the match, so I only got to catch probably 2 minutes of the match, which was really irritating and disappointing as well, because they're having problems with that. They still have to figure out how to do that stuff, so they'll get better at that, I hope, with pre-time show stuff and also post-time shows. But mainly, I would say that's not a very good match to have to open the event itself. Like, it was so close to the opening time, I would just put it as part of the show instead of making it a pre-time show. But I would totally say that was mainly the worst match of the night, because it was predictable. It didn't have that much really any excitement to it at all, and we already know who was going to win, because The Miz is a face and Cody Rhodes is a heel, and with Cody Rhodes not having a good push right now and Miz not having a good push right now, so you basically have to pick which one is going to win, and of course The Miz won. So that was kind of easy to predict. And then also, let's move on and talk about Chris Jericho versus Fandango with Summer Rae at his side. And it was kind of a really interesting match. This is probably the first match I've seen Fandango actually wrestle more than usual, and he looked kind of okay. I think it's going to take him a couple more big events to actually get used to actually wrestling. But with this Chris Jericho versus Fandango feud, I think it's going to carry on for probably until SummerSlam, I have to say. So that's still like 2 to 3 months. It could probably carry on that long. And if it does, let's hope Fandango wins and gets over it and moves on. So, Fandango lost that one against Chris Jericho. I predicted that Fandango would win, because he's a younger guy than Chris Jericho, and Chris Jericho would always like to let the younger guys win, or WWE would like to let the younger guys win sometimes. But let's move on from that and actually talk about the single match for the United States Championship, which had Kofi Kingston versus Dean Ambrose. This one was predictable, because if you had Kofi Kingston and Dean Ambrose going for the championship belt for the United States Championship, and then if you had Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins going against Team Hell No for the Tag Team Championships, you gotta think there has to be some type of connection, thinking that the Shield will be walking out with gold. That's what I thought, and I knew would happen. So Dean Ambrose did beat the living hell out of Kofi Kingston with some pretty awesome moves, but he was kind of not that great at performing, I would say. He still has a lot to learn for a new guy in the WWE, but I know he's a really good wrestler in real life, but he still has a lot of great moves to learn. And that match was pretty interesting, I have to say. So let's move on and talk about this poorly kind of match with Sheamus versus Mark Henry, which was the strap match. I think this was kind of really embarrassing and kind of a stupid thing to actually host at a WWE event yet again. This is the second time it's ever happened in WWE. I really think it was a waste of time because we already know in real life Mark Henry would have creamed the living hell out of Sheamus in real life. But of course, this is show and entertainment. I know Sheamus was basically the popular one and had to win. And Mark Henry kind of seemed like he was not that really irritated about losing. He was kind of more turning face, if you think of it, because didn't really complain when he got interviewed. If you guys saw the past show or post show, should I say, he wasn't really that mad at all. He just said he's going home and that's it. And so let's move on and talk about Alberto Del Rios versus Jack Swagger. This one was really interesting because Jack Swagger was the one that actually said, "I quit." And I really thought that he wouldn't quit because of his kind of personal background now with this new kind of character role, being kind of more of a badass and stuff. And with Alberto Del Rios having this freaking fake knee problem and stuff, or foot problem, whatever one, that kind of made him look wimpy and make Jack Swagger look strong. But I have a feeling just because Jack Swagger basically kicked Dolph Ziggler in the head and got Dolph Ziggler a concussion, I have a feeling this is his punishment for that. So that's the reason why Jack Swagger would lose, and Alberto Del Rios becomes the #1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship, which I hardly doubt that Alberto Del Rios is going to win the next pay-per-view event against Dolph Ziggler. I hardly doubt he'll win. Let's move on to the Shield with Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins defeating Team Hell No. So this one was really predictable because we already knew if Dean Ambrose was the champion, why not have Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins be the champion as well? Kind of bring the titles to a better side, should I say, for more entertainment and more dominancy, basically. So like bringing it over to the Shield, that shows they are very dominant and very hard to stop, really. So that's one good thing that WWE has done the right choice and right pick on. I really like that pick that they moved on that. So that's good that they won. And now it's time for Team Hell No possibly to break up after this because they're really not that entertaining anymore. We've already seen everything that Daniel Bryan and Kane can do together. I think it's time for those two guys to go separate ways, start their own different type of characters now. Maybe Daniel Bryan will turn face and start saying yes, yes, yes again, and Kane will probably maybe split apart. I don't know if he'll go heel ever again since he's kind of been face for a very long time. But yes, the Shield won if you guys are just wondering that. So let's move on and talk about match number 6, which is Randy Orton versus Big Show. This one was actually a fun one as well. This is probably the third best match of the night. And Randy Orton was outstanding. He had to win this since he was in his hometown. And Big Show, he just left like he was damaged to the max, probably. Like he was hurt like hell. And then with Randy Orton kind of doing his RKO. And then the thing that was interesting was the punt to the face. The punt to the face, he has not done that since he was a heel. And possibly when he turned face for the first time in a very long time. But that kind of gives you signs. If he's doing the punt now, does that mean he could be the heel, or could be turning heel, basically, in the next week, or maybe the next pay-per-view match? I really don't know, but that could possibly be a sign that he could be turning heel. But who knows, really? So now let's move on and talk about probably the best show of the night by what I have probably seen. Would be John Cena versus Ryback. This match was really interesting with John Cena being partially injured, which I think is fake, and having Ryback actually go after him, being the dominant one. These two basically kind of evened out if you thought of it. And if you guys have seen the match, it was a really good match with those two guys going back and forth. And the one that was probably dominant, I would have to say, would have to be... It's really hard. I would probably say... Oh, God. I would say... I think it was 50-50. Let's just leave it at that. It's so hard to pick because the match did not even end. It got basically... this is where I think they scripted it and stuff because both of these guys have to win. So why not have them both basically get screwed at the same time so nothing would happen. So that's basically what happened with John Cena getting hurt again, and Ryback getting hurt. So that's kind of a way the match ended. I think it was really interesting with the LED crashing and all that stuff. That made it golden right there. And then also John Cena did that jump onto the table and landed on Ryback. That was really interesting. So maybe I could say that John Cena was kind of more of the puller of the match, kind of more of the guy who was actually running it, which was really cool, actually. He did a really good job, and it seemed like people were actually cheering his name a lot more than Ryback. So let's move on to Brock Lesnar versus Triple H. This match was really good and really not good, should I say. There was a new cage, and yes, that was Triple H's doing because, of course, they're trying to play around with Brock Lesnar. They're trying to make the cage bigger on him so he can't get out, which he almost did, but then Triple H came behind and actually hit him, which was kind of funny. So with Brock Lesnar winning that shows that he's dominant. He might be done finally following Triple H since he got his revenge. But maybe Triple H will come back since Paul Heyman kind of sounded like that Triple H was the one that started the fight. So who knows what will happen. But Triple H, I have to say, he was knocked out at the very end when he got hit by that sledgehammer. I think Brock Lesnar probably went a little bit too hard on him, knocked him out, and then did his F5 onto him because he didn't move one bit until after that match was over. And I would say that's the second best match of the night. And with Brock Lesnar winning that's a good thing for him because then he'll be happy. He might not do that much damage anymore for a while. But that's basically all I have on this post-recap video. And it's kind of talks on all my reactions and stuff on all the matches that have happened at Extreme Rules. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. See you guys later. Peace out.